If I told you it was possible to live on $100,000 a year in retirement and legally pay zero in federal income tax, would you believe me? Most people don't. Because for decades, you've probably been told, once you retire, the IRS will always get a piece of your income, whether it's from your 401k or your IRA or even Social Security. But here's the truth. Few people realize the tax system in retirement doesn't work the same way it did when you were earning a paycheck. Once you stop working, you gain something powerful: control. You can choose where your income comes from and how it's taxed and when to realize it. And when you combine that control with coordinated tax strategy, you can legally reduce and, in some cases, eliminate your tax bill entirely. That's right. Some retirees legitimately pay zero tax on six-figure income. No loopholes, no tricks, just smart planning and timing. Hi, I'm Jay Forgione, president of Summit Retirement Solutions. In this video, we're going to walk you through how it's possible, how some retirees are living on $100,000 or more and paying virtually nothing in taxes. And more importantly, how you can structure your plan to do something similar. We'll cover the key differences between income and taxable income, a real-world example of what zero tax on a $100,000 plan looks like, the strategies that make it possible from Roth conversions to withdrawal sequencing. If you'd like to see what your own tax-free income potential looks like, book a time with me using the link below. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps more people gain clarity and confidence in their retirement strategy. The $100,000 income myth. Let's start with most common misconception: that if you earn $100,000 in retirement, you'll automatically be taxed on $100,000. That's not true. In fact, your gross income, the total you live on, can be very different from your taxable income. And that difference is where opportunity lives. Because in retirement, you have multiple income sources. Each is taxed differently. Some are fully taxable, some partially taxable, and some completely tax-free. When you design your withdrawals carefully, you can blend those sources in a way that gives you all income you need without crossing into higher tax brackets. That's the difference between paying 20% in taxes and paying zero. Number two, the three tax brackets of retirement. Think of your retirement income as coming from three buckets: taxable accounts, things like brokerage accounts and bank interests where earnings are taxed as they happen; tax-deferred accounts like your 401k and traditional IRAs where withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income; and tax-free accounts like Roth 401ks and certain insurance strategies where withdrawals are completely free of federal income tax. Your job in retirement is to orchestrate withdrawals from these buckets strategically to meet your spending needs without triggering unnecessary taxes. That orchestration is what allows some retirees to live on six figures a year while keeping their taxable income near zero. Number three, the $100,000 example. Let's walk through what this actually looks like. Imagine you're a retired couple, both 67, who need $100,000 per year to fund their lifestyle. Here's how their income might be structured: $40,000 from Social Security, $30,000 from a Roth IRA withdrawal, and $20,000 from a taxable investment account, mostly dividends and capital gains, and $10,000 in cash value life insurance policy. That's $100,000 in total spending money. But here's the key: most of it isn't taxable. Only a small portion of their Social Security, maybe $5,000 to $8,000, is taxable because their other income is modest. The Roth IRA withdrawals are completely tax-free. Their taxable accounts is invested tax efficiently with long-term capital gains and qualified dividends, both taxed at zero if their taxable income stays below about $94,000. The insurance withdrawal is also tax-free if structured properly, and it all adds up to their taxable income might be just $10,000 or $12,000. With a standard deduction of roughly $30,000 for a married couple, that means no federal tax is owed. They're living on $100,000 legally tax-free. Number four, why it works. Here's why this strategy works so well. In retirement, you're no longer locked into a single paycheck or employer. You can choose which accounts to pull from and in what order. The flexibility gives you the ability to blend tax-free and low-tax income sources together. keeping your taxable income under critical thresholds. It's not about avoiding taxes forever. It's about spreading them out over time on your own terms. That's what I call tax control, and it's one of the biggest financial advantages retirees have if they plan ahead. Number 5, the role of Roth accounts. One of the most powerful tools for creating tax-free income is the Roth IRA, because once your money is inside the Roth, it grows tax-free, and withdrawals are also tax-free, no matter how much it grows. And unlike traditional IRAs, Roths don't have required minimum distributions or RMDs. That means you can use them strategically, only when you need, fill income gaps without triggering additional taxes or pushing your Social Security into the taxable range. The best time to build up Roth assets is during your tax control window, the period between when you retire and when RMDs begin. Currently, it's age 73. During those years, you can convert money from pre-tax accounts into Roth at lower tax brackets, locking in today's rates and reducing your taxable income later. It's not about paying no tax. It's about paying tax once strategically while rates are low, to buy yourself tax-free income for life. Number 6, Social Security, the hidden tax lever. Social Security is one of the most misunderstood parts of this equation. Depending on your income level, up to 85% of your benefit can be taxed. But that's not automatic. It's based on something called provisional income, which is your adjusted gross income plus half your Social Security and any non-taxable interest. If your provisional income stays below about $44,000 for a married couple, you'll likely pay little or no tax on your Social Security. That's why coordinating your withdrawals around your benefits is so important. A well-timed Roth conversion or using non-taxable income sources like insurance or cash reserves can keep your provisional income low and your Social Security more protected. It's one of the easiest ways to save thousands every year without changing your lifestyle. Number 7, the 0% capital gains bracket. Now let's talk about your taxable investment account, because that's where a lot of retirees miss this opportunity. Long-term capital gains and qualified dividends don't have to be taxed at all if your taxable income falls under certain limits. For 2025, that 0% capital gains bracket extends up to about $94,000 for a married couple. That means you can sell investments, rebalance your portfolio, and realize gains and still owe nothing in federal tax, as long as your taxable income stays below that line. So by drawing a combination of Social Security, Roth withdrawals, and selective taxable income, you can stay inside that 0% bracket, effectively creating tax-free cash flow. This is one of the simplest and most overlooked tools for creating six-figure, low-tax retirement plan. Number 8, cash value life insurance as a tax-free tool. For some retirees, permanent life insurance, when designed correctly, can play a supporting role in this strategy. Certain types of cash value life policies allow you to withdraw or borrow from the policy's cash value tax-free. These distributions don't count as income for tax purposes, don't increase your provisional income, and don't affect your Medicare payments. For the right person, this becomes another flexible tax-free income source to fill the gap between taxable withdrawals. It's not for everyone, and it must be properly structured, but when used strategically, it can help smooth out income and keep your tax bill at zero. The retirees who successfully pay zero tax on $100,000 all have one thing in common. They started planning early. By the time you're in your late 60s, your options start to narrow. Social Security begins, RMDs kick in, and your tax control window starts closing. That's why most effective time to act is between the ages of 55 and 70. Those years are where you can make smart adjustments, converting pre-tax assets into Roths, rebalancing taxable investments for efficiency, and building tax-free reserves to draw from later. Think of it like moving chess pieces before a game speeds up. You're setting up the board for maximum flexibility. Now let's be clear. Not everyone will get absolutely zero, but many can get very close. If you can reduce your tax bill from, say, $20,000 a year to $3,000 or $4,000, that's money you get to keep working for your goals, your family, and your legacy. And the earlier you start coordinating your tax strategy, the easier it becomes to maintain for decades. Because retirement isn't about guessing what the markets will do, it's about controlling what you can control. And taxes are one of the biggest levers you have. You can't avoid taxes forever, but you can design your retirement so you never overpay them again. By blending Social Security, Roth accounts, tax-efficient investments, and strategic withdrawals, you can live on a six-figure income while legally minimizing or even eliminating your federal tax bill. It's not about finding a loophole. It's about using the rules as they're written. And when you do that correctly, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need a bigger portfolio. You just need a smarter plan. If your goal is to retire comfortably and keep more of what you've worked for, this strategy would be part of your planning conversation. It's not about chasing returns or predicting markets. It's about coordinating income, taxes, and timing so every dollar works as efficient as possible. Because the less you give to the IRS unnecessarily, the more you keep for the life you've worked hard to build. If you'd like to see how close you can get to a zero tax retirement or stress test your current strategy, let's connect. Click the link in the description below to book a time with me, and we'll walk through the numbers together. You might be surprised to learn you're already closer than you think to tax-free living. You just need to bring it all together.